Hello there everyone, and welcome to this Biology Mind A-Level tutorial on lipids and triglycerides. So just to recap on what we did in the last lesson, we learned about common examples of monosaccharides and polysaccharides that are used in plants and animals. So remember, we looked at starch and its different components, amylose and amylopectin. We also had a look at its equivalent structure in animals, so its equivalent storage polysaccharide in animals, which is called glycogen. And we also had a look at cellulose in plants, which remember is different to starch and glycogen in the sense that its monosaccharides are beta glucose, not alpha glucose. So if that doesn't sound very familiar to you, then just go back and watch the last tutorial before coming on to this one. But without further ado, let's get cracking with lipids. So we have two key learning objectives for today. So number one, the structure of lipids and triglycerides, and number two, saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. Now, lipids have a variety of functions, i.e. in cell structure, metabolism, and in the animal immune system. So they are organic molecules and they contain carbon and hydrogen, okay? And lipids themselves contain fatty acids, which contain hydrocarbon chains. So we'll see this on the next slide. Oh, the slide after that, apparently. So just to quickly just cover the two types of lipids I want you to think about for your exams is number one, triglycerides, and number two, phospholipids. So let's have a look at triglycerides. So triglycerides consist of one glycerol, so one glycerol, covalently bonded to three fatty acids. Okay, so you can see the one glycerol here covalently bonded to three fatty acids. So that is our triglyceride structure. Now, glycerol is an alcohol due to the presence of its hydroxyl group. So these are all hydroxyl groups. So therefore, glycerol is an alcohol. So that's glycerol. So now let's think about our fatty acids. So fatty acids contain a carboxyl group, which you can see here. So our carboxyl group is our COOH. That's our carboxyl group. And then this is our fatty acid tail, which you can see is just a hydrocarbon tail. It's just made up of carbons and hydrogens. So the R group of a fatty acid can be saturated or unsaturated. So saturated fatty acids have no double bonds between their carbon atoms, and unsaturated fatty acids have at least one double bond between a pair of carbon atoms. So let's just put that into practice on the next slide. Can you please do your best to label which one you think is the unsaturated fatty acid and which one is the saturated fatty acid? So pause the video here if you don't want me to reveal the answer before you have a go. Okay, so we'll think about the answer now. So remember, on the previous slide, I said that if a fatty acid contains a double bond, it's going to be our unsaturated fatty acid. Whereas if there are no double bonds present, that's our saturated fatty acid. Okay, so double bonds present, no double bonds. All right, so that is our tutorial completed for today. Well done for following through till the end. See you for the next tutorial.